Hey fellas, Meat Trapper here. The 110 Conibear is probably the single most popular bug out bag survival trap out there. And today I'm going to show you what I think is the single most important and effective modification you can make to this trap to put more food in your stomach. Stay tuned. Now this is a BMI 110 Conibear. This and the Belial, in my opinion, are the two best stock 110 Conibears that you can buy. The BMI is famous for its dinner bell trigger, and this has a very sensitive trigger on it. It has a 3-position dog. You can see the 3 notches right there, and this is considered a pro's 110 Conibear. If you were going after mink, this is the Conibear to use. However, it is well known and it's common sense that there is a certain amount of trigger avoidance with any Conibear style trap. Whether you have the dinner bell trigger, whether you have a circle trigger, whether you have just the 2 whiskers, what have you. No animal likes to push wire with its face. You don't, I don't. Animals don't. This is why people are constantly modifying triggers, fooling with triggers, putting circle triggers in, cutting the trigger wire short and putting little pieces of monofilament fishing line across. All of those different things, the different bends, L bend, T bend, all that stuff, that's trying to do one thing, and that is it's trying to minimize trigger avoidance. Now the ultimate method of trigger avoidance is to simply remove the trigger, and people do that by putting pans on their Conibears. There are a lot of different designs for pans. People make homemade pans. I've seen them made out of wood. I've seen them made out of campaign signs, the Coroplast material, all different kinds of things. What I'm going to show you now is what I consider to be the best pan on the market for a 110 Conibear, bar none. Now, Mr. Chip Davis of ExpandaPanTraps.com makes what I consider to be the finest Conibear pans you can buy. I use them on my 330s. I did an entire video on it, and it was amazing how my catch increased once I got rid of the trigger wires and went to the pans. He has recently come out with a 110 version, and it is awesome. So let's take a look. Now on the left is the stock 110 Conibear with the trigger wires. On the right is the same model version 110 BMI Conibear with the Expandapan trap pan on it. Now you take a look at that and tell me which one, if you put those side by side on the same trail, which one do you think the animal is going to go through first? Real simple question. These two traps, a trail that wide, is the animal going to go there and push the trigger wires and wiggle through it, or is he going to go for the wide opening? He's going to go for that every single time. That doesn't mean he won't go through that. If he's got stuff on his mind, if he's looking for food, if he's looking for a mate, he'll push through that. But time after time after time, I have video of all kinds of animals, from mink, squirrels, all the way up to coon, beaver, avoiding Conibears. They'll walk up to it, and then they'll go over it, they'll go around it, or they'll turn around. You don't get nearly the avoidance with a pan. It's just so much more wide open. Now let's take a look at this in a trail set, and I'll give you a real world view of this. Now this is what a trail set is going to look like to the animal. You can see there's absolutely nothing hanging down, no trigger wires hanging down, no trigger wires sticking up, nothing to impede or obstruct that animal. He is going to walk right through that without any hesitation whatsoever. He has no reason to hesitate. That right there says it all. Now for my money, these are going to be on my traps this season. It's not trapping season yet, but when it comes to muskrat trapping, mink trapping, these are going to be killer. For a survival-oriented bug-out bag type of situation, you put those on your 110 Conibears that you've already got in your pack, and there's no reason for a squirrel to go around or over those. They'll step right on that pan every single time. To me, this is going to put more food in a 110 Conibear than any other modification that I can think of. I'll put a link to where you can purchase these from. I don't get a commission or anything like that. I'm telling you this because this is what I have and this is what I use. I've used them on my 330s for 2 years now, and they're going to be on my 110s now that they're available. I believe he also makes them for 220s and for 160s as well, but that's expandapantraps.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.